Welcome to the Reality Strike. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates. January 16, 2026, a date that will be etched into the history books of global sport and international relations. On this day, the world awoke to news that would send shockwaves through every corner of the footballing community and beyond. FIFA stuns the world. The United States is stripped of its World Cup hosting rights. The announcement, delivered from FIFA's headquarters in Zurich, is met with disbelief and confusion. News outlets scramble to cover the story, and social media erupts with speculation and outrage. The decision reverberates from the halls of power in Washington to grassroots football clubs in distant villages. Young players, coaches, and fans everywhere are left wondering how such a monumental event could be derailed so suddenly. International news channels broadcast the story around the clock, analyzing every possible angle. This isn't just about sports. It's a collision of politics, power, and the global stage. World leaders convene emergency meetings, while fans and activists gather outside stadiums and embassies, their voices rising in protest and debate. The World Cup, once a symbol of unity, now becomes a flashpoint for international tension. The US, set to co-host with Canada and Mexico, now faces a shattered dream. For millions of American fans, the chance to witness the world's greatest sporting event on home soil has vanished overnight. The disappointment is palpable, and questions swirl about what comes next for North American football. Years of preparation, stadium upgrades, infrastructure projects, and volunteer programs are suddenly in limbo. Construction sites grind to a halt, and thousands of workers and volunteers are left uncertain about their future. The ripple effects extend to local businesses, hotels, and entire communities that had pinned their hopes on the tournament. FIFA's announcement is clear: the actions of a host nation have consequences. The organization cites breaches of conduct and principles, emphasizing that the integrity of the World Cup must be protected at all costs. Journalists press for details, but the full story remains shrouded in mystery. The world watches, questioning the role of sports in a divided era. In living rooms, bars, and public squares, people debate whether football can remain above politics, or if it has become just another arena for global conflict. The sense of uncertainty is matched only by the intensity of emotion. Billions in sponsorships and millions of fans' plans are thrown into chaos. Travel agents field frantic calls from disappointed supporters, while sponsors and partners scramble to reassess their investments. The economic fallout is immediate, with ripple effects felt across industries and continents. FIFA's principle of neutrality is broken. A new precedent is set. The organization's decision marks a turning point, raising questions about the future of international tournaments and the standards to which host nations will be held. As we unravel this story, we'll explore what led to this seismic decision, the forces at play behind the scenes, and what it means for the future of the World Cup, and for the millions who cherish the beautiful game. The original vision for 2026 was bold: a united North American World Cup. Canada, Mexico, and the US promised a 48-team tournament, the largest ever, symbolizing unity and cross-border collaboration. The US was to host the majority of matches, including the final at MetLife Stadium. Billions in economic activity and a seamless fan experience were expected. Mexico and Canada would each host 10 group stage games, marking milestones for both nations. The bid was hailed as a model for future global events, united as one. But that vision, once celebrated, now stands as a reminder of how quickly global dynamics can unravel. The dream of North American unity has been upended. The road to FIFA's decision was paved by months of mounting controversy. US domestic unrest, aggressive immigration policies, and a sweeping travel ban raised alarms worldwide. The Donor Boycott FIFA World Cup movement gained traction, with fans and diplomats citing safety and human rights concerns. High-profile figures and petitions called for the US to be barred from hosting. Economic threats grew as fans canceled tickets and sponsors reconsidered. FIFA faced a dilemma: uphold its values or risk a tainted, boycotted tournament. The tipping point came with a US-led military operation in Venezuela, resulting in the abduction of President Maduro. The world condemned the act as a violation of sovereignty, igniting outrage far beyond previous controversies. The Maduro Boycott USA 2026 movement exploded, with calls for action reaching a fever pitch. FIFA now faced the threat of national team boycotts and serious security concerns for players and fans. The Venezuela operation made the US an untenable host. The risk of diplomatic and security crises at the tournament became too great. FIFA had to act. Under immense pressure from all sides, FIFA's Executive Council convened an emergency session unlike any in recent memory. The world's eyes were fixed on Zurich as the organization's top officials gathered behind closed doors, their faces tense with the weight of a decision that would shape the future of the World Cup. The stakes were higher than ever, and the atmosphere was thick with uncertainty and urgency. Financial stakes were massive, with billions of dollars in sponsorships, broadcasting rights, and ticket sales hanging in the balance. But beyond the money, the very integrity and safety of the World Cup were on the line. The threat of violence and instability had cast a shadow over the tournament, forcing FIFA to weigh the risks to players, fans, and the global reputation of the sport itself. After hours of intense debate, FIFA invoked a rarely used force majeure clause, citing unprecedented security and logistical emergencies. This legal maneuver allowed them to take extraordinary action, overriding previous agreements and contracts in the name of safety and the greater good of the game. There was precedent for such a move. Just a few years earlier, FIFA had banned Russia from international competition after the invasion of Ukraine, sending a clear message that the organization would not hesitate to act when global events threatened the sport's core values. The official statement, carefully worded and diplomatic, avoided direct condemnation of any nation. Yet, it made one thing unmistakably clear. The United States could no longer guarantee the safety and security required to host the world's most prestigious sporting event. The message was both firm and somber, signaling a turning point in World Cup history. In a stunning move, the US was stripped of its hosting rights. Mexico, too, was removed from consideration as cross-border complexities and regional instability made joint hosting impossible. The dream of a united North American World Cup had collapsed in a matter of hours. In the aftermath, Canada emerged as the only viable option. FIFA named Canada the sole host, entrusting the nation with the monumental task of salvaging the tournament and restoring faith in the World Cup's future. FIFA expressed full confidence in Canada's ability to deliver a secure, world-class event. The organization praised Canada's stability, infrastructure, and commitment to the spirit of the game, reassuring fans and stakeholders that the tournament would go on. For millions of fans across North America, the decision was devastating. The shared dream of hosting the World Cup had vanished, replaced by disbelief and heartbreak. Only Canada remained, carrying the hopes of a continent. The world's biggest sporting event would now be a uniquely Canadian affair, with cities across the country preparing to welcome teams and fans from every corner of the globe. The decision sent shockwaves through the sports and political worlds, sparking debate, controversy, and a flurry of reactions from leaders and fans alike. As the dust settled, one thing was clear: a new era for international tournaments had begun, with Canada at its heart and the world watching closely. FIFA's move is nothing short of a political earthquake for the United States, a public rebuke that sends shockwaves through the nation's leadership and delivers a significant blow to its global standing. The world is watching as the US, once a favored host for international sporting events, now finds itself isolated on the global stage. The decision is not just about sports, it's a statement that reverberates through diplomatic circles and challenges America's influence in international affairs. 11 US cities, which had spent years and billions preparing for the tournament, now face the grim reality of financial disaster. Stadiums that were once symbols of hope and economic opportunity now stand empty, their future uncertain. Construction projects have ground to a halt, leaving behind half-finished dreams and communities grappling with the consequences. Billions in projected revenue and thousands of jobs have vanished overnight. Local businesses, from hotels to restaurants to merchandise shops, are left reeling as the economic engine they counted on sputters to a stop. The ripple effect is felt far beyond the stadium walls, impacting entire neighborhoods and city budgets. American fans who had dreamed of witnessing history on home soil are left angry and deeply disappointed. Many feel unfairly punished for decisions made far above their heads, their excitement replaced by frustration and a sense of betrayal. The emotional toll is palpable as communities mourn the loss of a once-in-a-lifetime experience. For FIFA and its sponsors, the loss of the US market is a major financial setback. The American audience, with its vast consumer base and lucrative advertising potential, represented a cornerstone of the tournament's business model. Now sponsors are left scrambling to reassess their investments and strategies. Broadcasters and sponsors are forced to pivot quickly, shifting their focus to a Canada-centric tournament. Media companies rush to rework coverage plans, while advertisers scramble to tailor campaigns to a new audience and market. The logistical and financial challenges are immense, and the pressure is on to adapt. The economic fallout is massive, with contracts and investments thrown into turmoil. Cities and companies are left renegotiating deals, facing lawsuits, and counting mounting losses. Financial analysts warn that the repercussions could last for years, affecting not just sports, but the broader economy. The social impact is equally profound, fueling heated debate within the U.S. sports community. Coaches, athletes, and fans alike are left questioning the future of American soccer and the nation's place in the world of international sports. The sense of unity and excitement that once surrounded the event has given way to division and uncertainty. FIFA's decision, while deemed necessary by some, has triggered a cascade of crises. Each day brings new challenges, as the consequences ripple outward, affecting not just sports, but politics, business, and society at large. The cost of this political stand is astronomical, and still unfolding. As the nation grapples with the fallout, one thing is clear: the aftershocks of this decision will be felt for years to come, reshaping the landscape of American sports and its role on the world stage. Suddenly, Canada is thrust into the global spotlight as sole World Cup host. From just 10 matches, it must now stage all 80, including the final. The logistical challenge is immense, but Canada's reputation as a stable, welcoming nation is its greatest asset. The Government and Soccer Association pledged to deliver a world-class event. Cities like Montreal and Edmonton may now join Toronto and Vancouver as hosts. The opportunity could transform Canadian soccer, inspiring a new generation, but the timeline is tight, and costs will be high. The world will watch as Canada races to meet FIFA's demands. For Canada, it's a defining moment, a chance to shine on the world stage. FIFA's decision marks a turning point in the politics of sport. For decades, FIFA claimed neutrality, often ignoring host nations' politics. This move against the US, a global superpower, breaks that tradition. Experts say FIFA had no choice. Boycott threats and the Venezuela crisis forced its hand. The digital age amplifies public pressure. Social media campaigns now shape billion-dollar decisions. FIFA's credibility was at stake. Inaction risked a tournament collapse. The world is more multipolar, and global opinion matters more than ever. Host nations will now face greater scrutiny over human rights and foreign policy. The politics is not in sport argument is dead. A new higher standard for hosting global events has been set. The World Cup's move to Canada is more than a venue change. It's a shift in football's relationship with global power. The sport has shown it has a conscience, and there's no turning back. Fans and players must grapple with the reality that football is inseparable from world events. Some celebrate this new ethical standard, others mourn the intrusion of politics. The debate over sports and values will continue. FIFA has set a precedent. Safety and ethics now outweigh financial might. The 2026 World Cup will go on, but it will forever be defined by this extraordinary moment. Football, for better or worse, just got political.